I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and if you have been watching my shorts this week, you will know that I have had a really rubbish week. It has been extremely stressful. I've not had a good time this week. Now, 2 weeks ago, I thought I had finally kicked the habit of biting my nails. I had long nails, long enough for me to paint my natural nails for the first time in my life. I was so proud of myself. But like I said, this week has been a buttload of stress, and so now I have bitten them down to the point where they look like 15-year-old skater boy hands, right? I have got a swollen finger from where I've been picking at the skin. I've got all sorts of skin problems going on around there, and my nails are so short that they actually hurt. And so I think today what I'm going to do is put some press-ons on, because they're too sensitive for me to do gel extensions on them, because you'd have to file the tops of them then, and then that hurts. They're so thin and brittle at the moment that wouldn't really work for me. So I'm going to put some press-ons on, and then I'm going to give them a gel polish, and hopefully that will help me break the habit of biting the nails again, and also improve some of the tenderness on some of my fingertips too. But because I am feeling rubbish and I want to feel better, first I think I am going to get changed and put a pretty dress on, because that will make me smile. I think there's some kind of bylaw that says that you can't be miserable in a cherry print dress, and this one is especially swooshy and nice. I bought it for myself for my birthday. Really, really pleased with it. It came out really nice, and bought myself a little matching necklace to go with it as well. Very pleased with that. And so yeah, now I'm going to do the nails. Now I've got this dress on, I'm going to be tempted to do a bright red, but I think we're going to go for neutral. Right, so I've brought you over to the table so that you can see a little bit easier what I'm doing. I'm not the best at filming things like this, but we'll see how it goes. Now, my nails are really quite bad, so I'm going to have to be really gentle with them. But you know what? Things are never so broken that they can't be fixed. So I'm just going to give it a real gentle file. This is the most painful one, so I'm being ever so gentle with this one. I'm using quite a light file on it, and I'm moving my finger rather than the file so that I don't overfile and make it even thinner and hurt myself. But I'm just doing it enough so that, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just doing it enough so that when I put the glue on for the press-on nails, it's got something to adhere to. And then we'll really go to town with filing the falsies before we paint them, so that paint will adhere better. But I'm hoping, like I said, that this will just break my habit of biting and picking at them again, because I do it without even noticing, and then by the time I've noticed, it's so painful and it's too late to save them then. I've also got my little brush here that I'm just using to brush all of the powdery bits off, because that won't help things stick either. And with press-on nails, you don't actually need the UV lamp thing that I've got, but I'm going to be painting them with gel polish, so I will need it then. Now, generally, I would, when I'm doing this, also trim off my cuticles. But I'm not going to do that today, because the skin around my fingernails has suffered enough recently. And I don't actually need these nails to last that long. Just a week or so probably, to help me break that habit again, because like I said, I pretty much had broken the habit before. I had just had an exceptionally bad week, and I started biting them again before I even noticed that I was biting them again. So I just got some of these. They're £3 from Primark. They're not the best, but they're clear ones, which means that if I was sticking them on with like polygel, then that would be much easier to stick them on with. I'm not using polygel today though. I'm just using the glue that came with them. But you can use these clear tips for polygel, because the UV light can penetrate through the nail, and then it can get the light in there and stick more easily. They seem to fit quite nicely on my fingers, but they are a bit long, so I will probably file them down. But I think we will stick them on first. So my first step is to find nails that fit onto each of my natural nails without any overlap over the skin, because that makes them pop off. It's better for you to get a nail that's slightly too big and file it down to shape though, than get one that's too small, because then it will pop right off. And then as I'm getting them, I'm laying them out in the order that I want to use them, just to make it easier in a minute. I've found all of my nails. Now sometimes they are numbered to make it easier for you to find ones that are the same size. These ones aren't, but I don't think that matters, because we've all got one hand that's bigger than the other hand anyway. And so you need to check them on the correct hand, not just check them on the one hand each time to make sure that they fit each individual nail, especially if you've got, like me, got some swelling around there. So I have filed my nails down slightly. What I'm going to try and do using a much smaller file is just gently file the inside a little bit of each nail, not the whole of it, but just enough to make it less shiny on the inside, so the glue's got something to adhere to. It just makes it easier and makes it stick and last for much, much longer than if you didn't do that and you just stuck them straight from the packet. These are very different sizes. Are my fingers that much different? I suppose it's because of the swelling. Silly me. My dog does the same thing, you know, he bites at his hands and his feet. Hands and feet? Bites at his paws. And does exactly the same thing and gets it all swollen up. And so at the moment he is in the cone of shame to stop him biting. I would get myself a cone of shame, except I don't think it would stop me biting. Maybe it would, who knows. I don't think I should do his nails though. I don't think he would enjoy that as much. So we're going to file those. So we're going to file those so that they are not filed flat or anything like that, but just enough to take the shine off of the inside so that that glue will stick more easily. And you can sort of bend them a little bit and they generally will retain their shape after you've done that. So don't panic if you haven't got the biggest, if you haven't got the smallest file in the world and it doesn't fit. You can sort of bend them inside out while you're doing it. And like I say, you really are just taking a little bit of the shine off so that the glue's got something to really embed into. And then I prefer to leave my thumbs for last. I don't know why, I just find it easier. This glue has a random little cap on, I've never seen that before. Okay, so I'm going to put a small amount of glue on my natural nail. I'm going to make sure that it is only a small amount, but that it covers the nail almost to the sides. Not quite, because I don't want the glue to spill over. This is very, very super sticky glue. And then I'm just going to press it on and hold it for about 20 seconds, maybe. I can use you as a little timer because I can see how long I've been filming for. I've stuck my fingers together already. We're doing well. No, just a little bit longer than I would normally do. And so I'm probably going to file them down after, but I'm going to let them set first. So I've given them a little push. They're still a little bit wiggly. And so we'll give them a few minutes to harden up before we start doing anything to them. So I'll move on to the next one for now. You probably get better results from this if you wipe your fingertips over with like alcohol or acetone nail varnish first, but make sure you properly dried it because the acetone stops the glue from sticking as well. My phone rang there, so I carried on doing my nails whilst I was on the phone, and I'm still sticking right now. So if you are trying to do it along at the same time as me, maybe pause me for a second and carry on. Now, these nails are actually so long that I'm struggling to pick them up off the table now that I've done them. They're very, very curved, actually, which kind of does give you a sort of more real shape to them, I suppose, but they're going to take a lot of filing to go down and haven't got the best files in the world, so we'll see how that turns out. But like I say, first we're sticking them all on. I'm down to my last finger now, my little finger, and then I'll do my thumbs last. I just find it easier to pick the nails up if I've got a thumb handy, but you experiment, you might find it easier to do one entire hand first before moving on to the others, but I prefer to do fingers first and then thumbs at the end. They look kind of evil at the moment because they're so curvy. Can you see how curvy they are? You probably can't. They're a bit clear at the minute for you to be able to see. I don't know why I decided to do my left thumb first. That's going to make it much, much more difficult. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Press, 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 press. Give it a really good press. And like I said, you don't need to use the UV lights at all for these. I've just got my one out for doing the gel polish itself. Ah, there goes my lid. Now, if you've bought pre-painted coloured ones, that's you done now, and you won't be able to see where you've filed them or anything like that. But these ones are clear ones, like I said, because I'm going to use them for poly gels and stuff as well when my nails have recovered a little bit. So you can see straight through these, and you can see where I have filed the underneaths. But you won't be able to see that once you've painted them, so it's fine. Because these are a little bit long, I've got my little clipper things. You can use the more standard clippers as well, and that will still work. And I'm going to try and sort of curve them a little, because I do want the curved shape rather than a square one, but I want it a bit shorter so that I can manage. So I've done it a little bit longer than I intended to, and then I'm going to file it. And I think to get the shape that I want, I have to sort of go from the sides to the middle. Oh. This plastic is a lot firmer than I expected it to be, though, and my files really aren't very good. But we do their best with what we've got. That's more like it. So now that's a much more manageable sort of nail length and shape for me. I'm going to do that to all of them and then give them a file. So I have filed this hand now. You can see the difference with this hand. It's going to be a lot more easy for me to do things. It also looks a bit more natural as well. I like to keep my thumbs a bit shorter because I find it easier to do things like that. And I don't mind having my pinky finger a little bit longer. I think it looks a bit more elegant because I've got quite dumpy little hands, to be honest with you. And I can have them slightly longer than I normally would because I'm not doing pole at the moment because my stupid shoulder. That shoulder injury is plaguing me, but so I can, but it does mean that I can keep my nails a little bit longer because I don't need to be able to grip as well. Obviously I'm making it so that I can do things like hold stuff, wipe my own bum, that sort of thing. I don't want them to be so long that I can't do things like that. I want to be able to run around with my 9-year-old, play in the park with him, that sort of thing, do stuff with my hands. So having them this long just would not work for me, but this sort of length I can do. Make sure you've got them fully shaped exactly how you want them before you start painting them, because otherwise it's going to mess your paint up when you realise that you've got one that's just the wrong shape. And it really is the shape that makes or breaks how your nails look. If your shape is a bit off, then it might make the whole of your manicure look a bit off. If you've got a crooked finger like I have, putting your nail file down the centre of your knuckle can help, because then you can line up where the centre point of your nail is going to be. You want it to be lined up with your knuckle, not the tip of your finger, and then it will make your finger look straight again. Okay, so once you are happy with your nail shape, which I now am, they're not the most even, but I don't mind that because I feel like it looks a bit more natural, but they are. I can make a fist, I can do things with my hands. And so the next step is to take the shine off of the top of the nails. We're going to do it quite gently because we don't want to go quite right the way through them, but that will leave the paint something to stick to. You don't want to go too harsh because if you're using nail tips, then they've already got a really nice sort of curved shape to the top of them, which looks quite natural. And so you don't want to ruin that shape. You just want to scuff it up so that your paint has something to stick to. I don't know if you can see the difference between those two there. You probably can't, but trust me, I'm taking the shine off to make it a lot easier for that paint to stick. But like I say, not going to go too harsh, don't want to go right through my nails. Now what is important when you're filing that shine off is to make sure you get right into the side walls. That's the bits that are nearest your finger, because that is where your nail polish will start to peel and flake off. Once it does that, it will take it all off with it. And so you don't want that. So make sure that you've got all the shine from the sides there. That'll also help it to blend more naturally into your natural nail as well. If you've got a little bit of natural nail on show there, maybe you didn't listen to me and you did one that's slightly too small and it's going to pop off in a couple of days and you'll think, I wish I listened to me. But doing it at the side walls like that will make them blend a little bit more easily and also keep your polish from just peeling straight off of the nail. Now, if you only wanted your nails to be polished for the one day and you know you want to change the colour the next day, you might want to leave the shine on and then you can just peel it off and repaint. I wouldn't recommend doing that with your natural nails, but you can do that. This way, though, the manicure should last quite a few days. And now my nails are all filed off. They're looking a lot more dull and white, and I'm going to use this little brush to brush off all of the dust that I created there. I don't know why, because I've never noticed it with press-ons before, but this lot of press-ons smelled bad when I was filing them. I don't know why. It was just very plasticky. I know they are made of plastic, and that does kind of make sense, but I've never noticed that with false nails before, so maybe it's just a thing with this particular batch, who knows. I've noticed there when I've done that I've got some little bits that still need shaping on this one, so I'm just going to make sure I have done that to a shape that I actually want. Oh, I'm making it worse now. There we go. Brush them bits off again. Make sure I've got all of my little bits of filed off plastic well and truly off, that the shape is all exactly how I want it to be, because the next stage is painting them and I don't want to have to take all that paint back off. Now usually when you are doing a gel polish on your nails, you would start by cleaning them with acetone to get rid of any grease and stuff, but because these are false nails, you don't want to use acetone nail varnish remover on them, so just give your hands a wash with soap to make sure there's no grease spots left on there, and make sure they're very thoroughly dry so that you don't get any mess in your paint and that it all adheres just the way you want it to. I've now realised that I can't actually reach the plug point from my UV lamp here, so you will see me disappear to go and do that bit. But I'll tell you when I do, in case this is your first time doing it. So we're going to start off with some foundation stuff. This is a base coat that will give the paint something to stick to. We're doing a really thin layer on there. And I'm going to do one hand at a time because that is what fits in our lamp. But yeah, we're doing a really thin layer and we're making sure that we don't get any of that on our skin around the nail. Two reasons for that. One is that it can cause an allergic reaction and make your skin react, and you don't really want that. But the other reason is that your nail paint will stick to your base coat. And if your base coat is on your skin instead of your nails, that moves around a lot more. And so it is much more likely to peel off and cause your whole manicure to come off with it. The most annoying thing. I am going to cook these under my UV lamp now for 1 minute. So this is how they look after 2 coats. Each has been cooked for about 90 seconds. They are still quite tacky because I haven't put the top coat on first, but like I said, I'm going to do some French tips now. There are a lot of different ways that you can do French tips, and I am bad at all of them. So luckily though, I like a really I don't know if this is the colour I want. Nope, that's glitter. I like a very, very thin tip on my nails when I'm doing French, and I find that's the easiest one to do as well. Let's bring you a bit closer. So what I'm going to do is take my brush with very little on it and just press it into the tips of my nails. So I decided that I needed to see more than you needed to see. So I've just got the tiniest little tip on it, which is how I like it. I have cooked those under my UV lamp for another 90 seconds, and the last stage is top coat. You can get matte or gloss top coat. I'm using gloss today because I want it to look shiny. But yeah, just a thin layer of your top coat all over the top of the nail, but make sure that you're covering all of your nail polish and just going across that top part as well to seal everything in. And once we've done that, it'll be going under the lamp for the last time, and then I can start on the other hand, which I'll probably do off camera because you're probably bored enough of watching me paint my nails so far. But let me say, the finger that was really hurting me a lot because I had bitten so much is actually feeling so much better already. To the point where even a slight touch on it was very painful, but now it is already feeling much, much better. One more go under the lamp and then I'll go off camera to do the other hand, and I'll show you them both when I've finished. That is my nails all finished now. I am very happy with how they turned out. We don't need to be looking too closely at my right hand, but my left hand, as usual, has come out quite nicely. And I'm already feeling a lot better because this finger in particular I can touch it without pain now, which this morning, if something even brushed against it, was agony. So that just shows that there is never anything that is so badly broken, so badly messed up that it can't be fixed with just a little bit of care, attention and extra support. And so I'm very, very pleased that I have done that. I'm also pleased that I took the effort today to put my pretty dress on and make myself feel better, because now my general mood is a lot better already. Join me again next week. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be vlogging about, because every single time I make a plan, life throws me a curveball. I was supposed to be going thrifting with you this week. That just didn't happen for various different reasons. Maybe we'll do that next week, or maybe we'll do something else. Let's just wait and see what life throws at me, I suppose. If you can't wait till Monday to see me again though, I understand that. I'm pretty awesome. And so I will be here every single morning in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for, sometimes talk about what's challenging me that day. And I will be here on a Witchy Wednesday doing an intuitive card reading for you every Wednesday at 11:11. Until then, you have yourself a magical week.